This is Joyce Canright, who was a very famous promoter back in the day. This is her daughter, Karla, Duncan.
Hi y'all. I just had to say that because I just flew in from Texas. That's where I live. And this is my beautiful granddaughter, my mother's favorite great-granddaughter, Kamisha, right here. And I just want to say to Bob, I have something here to say, but about some memories. And Bob Birdwell has been such a sweetheart to me, Gregory, who loved my mother to pieces, and Bill Corey, who was huge in my life, and him and my mom were best friends, even though he always thought my mom had the hots for him, but she probably did. And I didn't put this in here, but if anyone wants to know the story about Tom Brown's Love Dome, talk to me later, because I have the whole scoop on that. So anyway, as he said, my name is Karla, Joyce's daughter. I'm very blessed to be here today from Texas in honor of my dear friend, Tom Brown. Tom and my mother were partners in Canright booking agency in the 60s. I have so many great memories of those days, and we all do. Tom and I reconnected in 2023 when I interviewed him for a memoir I'm writing about my mother. It was like no time has passed. He was still acting like my big brother. We would talk almost daily, and we never ended a conversation without saying, "I love you." Tom has so many great stories to share. He truly put all his heart into what he believed and loved doing. I recorded every conversation that we had, and I will cherish them forever. I really miss Tom, but I'm thankful for our time together. Stephanie and Greg, thank you for allowing me to share in this celebration. Your dad was one of a kind. I have two more messages to share. The first one is from my first husband, Bruce Tossler, who wrote the books of the garage bands in the 60s, and he was also in the U.S. Mail and the Talisman. And he was unable to attend today. He also lives in Texas. He follows me everywhere, I'm not sure why. And anyway, this is quoted from Bruce. I had great respect for Tom. He definitely carved out his own niche in the East Bay scene. This is me. Bruce is very afraid of flying. And I offered to him to fly with me here. But I said if he freaked out on the plane, he was on his own. After all, I am his ex. So the last thing I have to share is from Mimi Castillo from the Tower of Power. And he has been such a sweetheart, and he would have loved to have been here, and as all you know, he's on tour right now. And this is from Mimi. It says, first of all, I'd like to extend my condolences to all Tom Brown's family and friends. Tom was Tower of Power's manager back in the day and my closest friend when I was 16 to 18 years old. And we had a lot of fun together and saw some of the greatest soul music ever. I met him when he managed the Spiders, whom I idolized, which I did as well, and playing gigs for Tom at the IDS Hall in Hayward, California, and also at Soul City After Hours Club are some of my favorite memories in my young life. We never saw each other much after I turned 18 years old, but I always loved him. He was a great friend, and we shared a love for soul music. In my book, Tom Brown was one of the forerunners for the East Bay soul sound, and I'll never forget him. He actually booked Otis Redding at the Oakland Auditorium right before we met, and now I'm sure he's joining Otis in heaven. Rest in peace, Tom. Emilio Castillo, band leader for Tower of Power. And the last thing I have to say is we all strive for a call for unity, understanding, and hope, and one love. Bob Marley showed that anything is possible through love of music. Thank you. And I especially want to thank this man here because he loved my mom dearly. She actually booked his band when you were 13?
13 years old.
13. And when he went to interview her for his show, he didn't remember her. He showed up at her door and she gave him a big hug and he thought, wow, you know? And she goes, you don't remember me. My mom has a book that I have at home that has all the bands in it. It was sitting there and she said, Gregory, open the book. And he found the page there where his band was in there, his name, the phone number. And he was there with me in the last days with my mother. He was holding her hand the day before she passed. Thank you.
That's Joe.
So before we close this, is there anybody else that would like to speak about Tom? Okay, well, I'll do a final remarks about
Thank you.
Tom Brown.